And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the course intent or the session intent. Um, so it's about sharing your content on your Instagram page, how to share it. We're going to look at understanding different forms of content that you can create on Instagram. Understand a little bit more about the algorithm of Instagram, how it works, be able to plan and create and implement a social media marketing campaign using content schedule, be able to select and justify appropriate channels and digital media for the campaign, and be able to use tracking tools to measure the success of the campaign. So, as a recap, during your last session, if you were on the last session on Instagram, then during that time, what we did was we set up a business profile. If you're not sure how to do that, I'll show you again. You're also asked to tasked with adding your profile to and your bio, setting up the profile, the bio with your website link and everything. So we'll just have a quick recap on that, just in case anybody missed that session or has not been on that session yet. Okay, and then we'll go into the different types of content. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just open Instagram and I'm going to quickly do a recap on the things that were covered in a different session. If you weren't on that session and you're going to book on it onto it soon, we'll probably go through it again at that point. But just for just for this session, I just want you to quickly have a look at the important parts of your profile. Okay, so one important thing obviously is your logo. Okay, so you need the logo. You need the name for your profile, and you need a call to action, which is basically your website or where you want to take people, but also a bio, and also username. So these things are all in the edit profile. So if you click on edit profile, you'll be able to change your photo to your logo. You'll be able to put your website address in here, but you can only do it from your mobile phone. You can type in your bio. Just make sure you keep it short and to the point of what your Instagram account's about. Um, if you want to show your Threads badge, basically Threads is another social media platform related to Instagram. If you want to show that badge, you can by clicking on this, or you can not show that if you're not that active. Gender, and then show account suggested suggestions on profile. So basically, other people with similar accounts to your profile will get suggestions, and you'll get the same. And then you click submit, and that basically registers any changes you made. Make sure it's a professional account. And the way you do that is, again, if I'm showing you on a desktop, but on your mobile you can do the same. Basically, you're trying to get into the settings. So the first thing you do is click on your profile, get into your profile, and click on this little toggle here or a little cog. If you click on that, it'll give you lots of options. Okay, and it will say whether it's a professional account or not. If you don't see that, if it's not a professional account, you need to go into edit profile. Within the settings, under for professionals, you'll see it says professional account or switch to professional account or account type. Um, I did switch over to show you yesterday. I don't know if anybody can remember, but basically under for professionals, you'll say account type. When you click on that, you can switch it to professional account. Once you've done that, it will give you more features, different things that you can access that you wouldn't have found if it was just a personal account. Okay. One of those things is a dashboard, where you get your professional dashboard, and within that you got your insights to your account and also content. So if I click on content, it will give you all the content that you've created, all the views, the accounts reached. It's these numbers basically. So you're looking at these numbers, and some of them will do well, some of them won't do well, and then you've got to look at why which one did well. Like this one's done well because of the content, also maybe because of the fact that there's not many videos talking about that topic. But still, it had views, but it didn't have likes, and you can't expect much at the beginning. it's going to take some time before the algorithms start catching on to the type of content you're creating. Okay, so don't get disheartened at the beginning if you're not getting a lot of content views or likes or shares. At the beginning, the algorithms just kind of, you're training the algorithm to understand what kind of content you're creating. Another thing that I mentioned during the sessions, I think I talked about TikTok, where you need to cluster the content. So if you're creating one type of content and you want to move to a different type of content, like subject wise, cluster it. So you're creating about 5 or 6 pieces of content on one topic, then you're moving it to another topic so you don't confuse the algorithm. The same thing works on Instagram. So that was a little bit of recap. And if we go forward now, so you got different types of content that you can create: photos, videos, carousels, stories, and reels. We're going to look at each of them. First one is photos. Obviously, the most popular is visual, it's exciting. When you're looking at the picture, if you look at the picture and you feel hungry or you feel excited or some kind of emotional connection with the picture, then that's a good picture. Obviously, quality is important, but it's more about the context of your brand, what your brand is. Obviously, you can see Olivia Bakes. So it's a bakery and you got some cupcakes there, right? It makes sense to have pictures of cupcakes. It's very visual. It looks beautiful. Take a picture of it, okay? Food is one of those topics that you can just create so many amazing pictures. However, you do need good lighting and you need a good creative eye. Okay. So if you're a good photographer, if you're an ambitious photographer, you've got passion in photography, you could be just taking pictures like of nature, anything that's visual, anything that looks good. But obviously, you're doing it for your brand. So you've got to connect it with your brand somehow. And it can be done. Like literally, if you're looking at health products, it could be just bottles, the bottles themselves, the products themselves that you're taking pictures of, but it could actually be of, the type of food people should eat. And again, you're going into the food um, topic of food by being in the health industry, right? So you can still find ways of connecting to something that's visually exciting. So you can share photos in landscape, portrait, square formats. All three are valid. So sometimes you'll see the landscape, you'll see the landscape like horizontal, okay? Sometimes you see the vertical, the portrait, and then you'll see the square like this one, okay? And all are valid. Obviously, some look better, some pictures look better in certain formats, and you've got to think of that. So try to use photos that look professional, high quality, and follow a consistent style and aesthetic. So think about your brand style. Think about what kind of style you're giving it to. Is it luxury? Is it a certain color that you always use, like gold? Think about what kind of feeling you want to give to your um, viewers as well, right? The people that come to your platform. So this way you can make sure your Instagram page reflects the visual identity of your brand. So for example, I'm using a lot of purple, blue with my logo, with the type of images I'm creating. So if I show you, like, for example, this, I don't know if you can see that. You can't see that right now because I'm not sharing my whole screen. Let me just, I'm going to share my whole screen there. So I've got basically a course I'm working on at the moment. And if you look at the course images, like these images have all got the same kind of colors. Okay. So you're sticking to the same kind of colors as my logo. So any infographics, anything that I'm creating, I'm sticking to the same colors. And if I did take any photos in the real world, that's not graphics, I'd still stick to similar colors. I'll try to anyway. So with your Instagram, you know, if you haven't got the same colors where you're focusing on, you can always use, like, if it's you in the image, you can use a t-shirt that's of that color. You can have a background that's of the right color. But just think about it, like This one, obviously, beautiful um, visual, and it's nature, right? So you've got this one here. It's talking about power of composition, about photography, which is giving value, and it's also giving examples of different compositions, which is a very valuable piece of content. Okay, this one here, two glasses in a restaurant or something, a business lounge in Birmingham Airport, number one business lounge. What does that give? That gives a feeling of what? Anybody? Anybody want to comment this picture? So it says number one business lounge at Birmingham Airport. I mean, Birmingham Airport's not fantastic, but what does this picture give you a feeling of? Good life, luxury, maybe not that luxury, but at least the person's enjoying themselves, right? So a lot of people will share times, good times on Instagram. It'll be a lot of positives. It'll be a lot of things that people inspire to and look up to, like, oh, this is the lifestyle I want. Maybe it's fake, maybe nobody wants to show anything negative on the social media. We all understand that. But you have to understand that, look, you've got the power of video, photos to portray your business, the lifestyle that you want to create, the lifestyle image and everything you want to create to a certain point is good, but you don't want to go over the top with lifestyle depending on your product, right? So if your product is something to do with health, you can still bring in lifestyle to that, but think about your audience, think about your demographics. Are you actually, creating content, looking at other people's content and thinking that this is the same audience? Because it may not be. Okay. So you really have to think about your audience. Who is your audience? Everybody likes good, nice pictures, but are they relatable? So think about that when it comes to the photos. Are they relatable to your audience? Can they relate to it? Videos, you can share professional videos. um Obviously you can edit them in advance and then put them on there. However, don't go overboard with editing. Okay, so when you're editing, you don't put too many transitions and stuff. More organic content really works on Instagram. Okay, you want to show the human side of your business. So if you have a dog, I'm just saying that because there's a dog in these pictures. If you have a dog and you own a business, you might take pictures of your dog, but have some reference to your business as well. Like if it's something that's not related to your dog, but it could be something around the brand that your dog is in the office, visits the office or something. And maybe it's something that you're going for a walk and you're thinking of different content ideas, taking your dog for a walk, and you're just taking pictures of you and your dog just to give that human element, because some of your audiences may actually like pets and can relate to that, may have pets of their own. So you're kind of tapping into different emotions of your own audience. Videos, basically, you need to think of them as a professional way to give an insight into your business. Videos can be about your business, they can be about your products, they could be about your employees and your customers as well. So an example I gave yesterday was like, imagine you create content, but that content is of you and your team discussing what kind of content to create, and then you show the best idea being implemented and the actual content that you created and the amount of views it got and everything can also be seen on the platform because you created that content and it's on your platform. And then you create a follow-up content talking about how successful it was. That is an amazing way to give value, interesting content for people to see, but also to give evidence of your success and your planning and your teamwork and everything, and even show them your environment of your office and the brand. So you gotta think a bit creative, like how am I going to create this uh video and what value does it bring? So educational content, how-to videos are really good. Promotional content, testimonials from clients endorsing your products and services, and inspirational content as well. So all of this stuff is valuable. and you need to just think about how you can actually use these contents. So I'm going to give you some tips now on creating video, okay? So pick an attention grabbing photo, cover photo. So every piece of video content that you create on Instagram will have a cover photo, and you'll see that when you not when you're browsing on the actual feed, but if you go to somebody's profile, like my profile, they don't have any cover photos because I'm only experimenting to teach you guys. But if you went to somebody else's profile that's been doing it for a while, you may have cover photos. Okay. Some don't, some do. I mean, that doesn't seem like somebody's doing it professionally. But if you find like this is Instagram's profile, so obviously they've got millions of followers. But when this, can you see these pictures? They're obviously photos, but when they use a video, when there's a video like this, they've actually selected an image from the video to be their main cover photo, right? So at some point you can choose. You just have to, when you're loading up, I think it asks like what your cover photo should be, and you can add. We'll come on to like actually using Instagram in a second, okay? So focus on the first few seconds. So of your video, when you think about it, it's the same as TikTok. People have low attention span. They literally would scroll off your video within the first few seconds if it doesn't grab the attention. Okay, so sometimes you got to like obviously if you're Instagram and you've got massive amount of followers like this, you don't have to think about it too much, but still they should follow along. So if we go to say this video, okay, that first few seconds, can you see that camera move? That camera move, the way it rotated, it still kept me going, kept me watching until I saw this. And once I've seen this, now I'm gonna actually get a bit hooked and actually see this because I haven't seen anything like this before. I'm thinking now, how did they do this? And you're basically enjoying it, right? But that first few seconds of that video with that camera rotation got you interested because it wasn't a normal um, rotation of the camera. If I just take it back again, that move there, and then that. Okay. And you can see the projector there. So I could see the projector on his cycle. So he's literally cycling and projecting it while he's cycling, which is pretty smart. Okay. And then once you've seen this amazing video, what are you going to do? You're going to think, wow, this is really cool. I'm going to share it. Now, one of the most powerful things that you can do on Instagram is create content that people want to share. Okay, that's how you're going to get viral. So when you're creating content, you need to think, I need to create something that is viral. He probably thought of that. Like, I'm going to do something that people are going to share. Okay, and he thought of this idea, and now he's on Instagram. Okay, he's on the actual Instagram account with his content, and that's him there. Look, so that's his account, but Instagram has posted his video. So if you go to his account, you'll probably see that he does lots of strange and wonderful things, right? So it's about being creative and think about what people like to see. I mean, getting that curiosity going, like, what is he doing? You know? So it's a matter of those few seconds. If you can get people on the street to be curious, it's the same. You'll get people online curious as well. People like people. People like to see people. People like to see strange, weird, and wonderful stuff. So you just have to have fun with Instagram and make things visual. Okay. So to improve your videos, be creative, think about the first few seconds, and also think about the sound. Okay. Create videos that work with or without sound. Now, if you think about it, certain people will have like we didn't have any sound on these videos, but we can still enjoy these videos. Like literally you can watch this. Okay. Okay, this is a picture, but it doesn't need sound. But if we go to a video, you can appreciate that video and the effort that's been put into that video without any sound. If you added this, well, the sound is there, but it's muted. So even without the sound, it is still something visually exciting. If I put the sound on, and it'll probably be better. It'll probably be an audio that actually goes with the visual. So it needs to work with or without sound. So the next one is carousels. Okay, so carousels, you can basically show from 2 to 10 photos or videos all in one post by using carousel format so that people can actually swipe and see all the pictures. It's like a little gallery. It could be pictures of plants like you see here. It could be another topic. It could be your holiday pictures. It doesn't matter. It could be one from an event. And it could be something that you're showing like a process evolving, could be infographics. Okay, so carousels are another type of format that you may be interested in using. The next one is stories. So Instagram stories, very popular. They're basically vertical full screen photos or videos that disappear after 24 hours. So literally they just disappear, and it's a moment in your life. That's how you got to see it. So within 24 hours it's going to go away. So it's a moment in your life that you're sharing. So any of your followers that are basically interested in what's happening with the company, with the business, things that you're doing at this moment in time, you're putting these stories so they can follow. It's like a video, a blog, a vlog. It's like you kind of keeping your audience in touch with, the process, the little stories that happen in the office, how your product's been created. That it's giving it that human element. It's giving it that story. It's giving it that kind of narrative. Okay, that's why it's called stories. So building up.
Sorry, is it just me? I'm still stuck on the video slide,
Are
but it might
you?
just be.
Okay, just bear with me a second. Sometimes the slide gets stuck. It can everybody see? What can everybody see? Because I can see stories on the screen. Um, is it just
Improve your videos.
are you all seeing videos?
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh, okay. Let me stop the sharing and start it again. Just bear with me a second. Sorry about that, because I could see stories. Has it changed the stories now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Sorry about that. So if I go back one, that was the videos. 1 second. That was the videos. So you saw that one.
Yeah.
You probably missed this one, yeah?
No, no, we saw that one.
You
They
saw
got
that
stuck
one
on
as
that
well.
one. Yeah.
So then it was the carousels.
Yeah, this is the one we didn't see.
Okay. So carousels basically 2 to 10 photos. It's like a gallery. It could be a process that you're taking people through. It could be some infographics. It could be some plants like you can see here, basically different products. It could be just pictures of your holiday. It doesn't matter. It's just a group of photos basically that some people might be interested in. And then we're talking about stories, okay? These are like short-term nuggets from your life. It's like little clips, little insights of your moment in time. Okay, they disappear after 24 hours, so you got to keep that in mind. You might actually create some, save them, store them somewhere, but on Instagram they disappear. So it's great for things like special offers. It's great for things that you don't want to be on your profile after 24 hours, basically, like short-term things. So just keep that in mind. And they have a lot of things like the Instagram stickers and polls and filters because it wants you to use it to engage with your audience. So if you have like a event, you could have a poll, you could have a competition, you could have like a 24-hour competition, you could have something that you're sharing and just getting opinions from people before you decide on what you're going to do with it. Like how would you like our product to come in this package or that package? Choose a package. Which one do you like? Put a poll there. Get your audience to choose the packaging for you, make decisions for you. So you're doing audience research, and at the same time you're making a business decision based on that. So make sure that you know what's the purpose of your story. Starting a story, um what you got to do is you got to open up Instagram, you tap on the plus icon on Instagram, at the bottom, if it's your phone, and on your profile picture at the top, you will see a little plus. Okay, so I'm going to show you actually on your phone. It might be different, but on here on the desktop, if I go to profile and you go to the top, it's basically that big plus sign. Click on that, and you can write something here. Actually, I'm not sure if that's a story because it looks different. New highlight. It could be. Let me just check it out. Test. Next. Yeah, that is stories. Okay. So don't get confused because it says new highlight, but that's what it is. Your story is your highlight. So, say you just passed your driving, yeah? So I just passed my driving. That could be a highlight, and then you go next, and I don't know why nothing's happening here. Okay. Not sure. Okay, I'm gonna try it on my phone just to see if it's the same thing. It might be different. You can do the same, you can try as well. So on the phone, there's a plus sign right next to, well, it's right at the top. It's a lot easier to see. I don't know if you can see if I go to, all right. So on here, if I move it, it's right at the top next to your logo. It will say stories. Trying to keep it in the right place. Just there. Trying to point at the right thing now. Just there, just up there. So it's basically your logo and it says your story. And if you click on that plus, it will allow you to add content. On here, it's not that. I would think it is that, but on the next thing, it doesn't really give you much. I don't know why. Not sure. It could be because I'm using Zoom and I'm using the camera function. Maybe something's interfering there. Okay, because it might actually want me to add my camera or something. So, but it's quite easy to find. Just go on your homepage. It's basically, can you see here, little plus sign here? Yeah, just there. And that's what you're looking for on your phone. And then you select story, okay, and from the options, and then basically you could capture a video, a photo, or upload one from your gallery. You can use stickers, filters, music, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're using it to make it engaging, okay? And then once you are ready, you basically share it with your followers or your close friends. That's the idea. Tips for Instagram stories: keep it casual, be relaxed, don't get it too formal. Instagram stories are temporary, 24 hours or so they don't need to be polished or perfect. They're going to disappear. They're a great place to show authentic moments, personality, behind the scenes content that feels fun and spontaneous. So if there's somebody in your team or somebody who you think will be great to create that type of content, get them to do it. You know, it might not be in your personality to do something like that, but there's people who are a bit more creative, maybe people who have lots of ideas, who like to kind of communicate with people who are people. Get them to do it. You know, it's not always going to be that you like every form of content. You might create stories that are a bit more kind of serious, or you might find it's too kind of, it's not meant for stories. So give it to somebody else to create that type of content. But this is the type of content you need to think about. Like it doesn't need to be polished. Just like use stickers, use countdowns, use voting systems. All of this is in the story section, so you can add it. Reels are entertaining, immersive videos where you can get creative. So you're basically expressing your creative side of your brand story. Okay, you're educating your audience. You're getting discovered by people who may love your business. This is where you're going to talk more about your products. This is where you're going to share interesting, entertaining videos, a bit like TikTok. Okay, so people come to Reels to participate in a cultural trend, collaborate with the community, and discover new ideas. With creative tools like effects, music, and stickers, your business can create entertaining videos that inspire your audience. So always think about your vision for your business. Always think about your mission, your values. Keep that in your mind. Think about your products that you've got and who are your audience, your target audience. So you might have an office. It could be your bedroom. It could be at work. It could be you've got a separate office. What I would advise is have your mission statement, your values, and your vision somewhere in front of you where you can see it all the time, like on the wall, maybe. Have another poster or something of your target audience. Okay, so you could actually have a drawing or a like cartoon, or it could be a real person that represents your audience. That is Bob, that is Alice. Yeah, that will help you then to think of the different types of content you want to create, to talk to Bob, to talk to Alice, and at the same time be true to your vision, your mission, and your values. As long as you're hitting those two or three things, the rest is just about entertainment, enjoying yourself, putting your products out there. Another thing you could do is you could have your actual products on your desk, so it kind of reminds you of what you're trying to sell in the first place, right? Because sometimes you can get sidetracked. Hi, Kieran.
Hi.
Question?
So what's the difference between doing a reel and then just posting a video and putting it on your profile?
Okay, so good question. So Reels, okay, if we go to the next one, just bear with me a second. Okay, I think the best way for me to answer is just answer it a bit later, okay? Because there will be a comparison. So if you just bear with me, is that okay, Kieran?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because let me go through Reels and you'll probably be able to see the difference anyway, but I'll answer your question a bit further on. I just don't want to jump the gun a little bit. So yeah, so we talked about entertainment, we're talking about immersive videos, we're talking about being creative, okay? And Kieran asked a very valid question, and I'll come onto that in a sec. So if we just carry on about Reels, the Reels camera has all the tools you need to create entertaining videos straight in the app. Okay, so it has filters, it has you can speed things up, you can add effects, yeah, you can add audio and all this. Record videos in the Reels camera or use tools like templates, borrow the structure of another reel and use it as a starting point. Experiment with video with effects and effects from the gallery or stickers and stuff. So it's about having fun. It's not about being kind of rigid and creating content that is very formal. Instagram, you got to remember the audience is below 40 majority. Okay. Um, so you got to think of your audience and the age group as well, the demographics basically, and that's the type of content you want to create. Obviously, you've got so much content out there that you can check and see what other people are creating. Use hashtags and mentions. Okay, so basically, when you're using your hashtags, you're not just putting in the description, you also can put it in the actual video with the text, so you can visually promote your hashtag because hashtags are important. But don't go crazy with hashtags. Don't put like hundreds of hashtags. Okay, some people write a whole paragraph of hashtag. Don't do that. It doesn't work anymore. Okay, maybe two or three, maybe four max hashtags. Okay, so think about hashtags and mentions. Now, mentions is basically your the at sign and you're mentioning other people or other accounts or other locations. So for example, here you got a mention. Okay. So if you want to collaborate with somebody, you may mention them to get their attention. You might actually mention someone like somebody's username. You might put into it to kind of support them, or it could be just getting their attention, or it could be just you're trying to get their audience to notice yours. So mentions are good, and also hashtags. Okay, just to kind of organize the content because you know how search engines work, where they send web crawlers or spiders, basically code all over the internet to find keywords. When it comes to social media, hashtags, you're basically doing that effort as well. You're contributing to the algorithm by creating hashtags. So you're helping the algorithms to work by providing the hashtags. You're basically indexing the content yourselves by providing hashtags, and that gets rewarded. Effective use of hashtags. So basically, when you're using the hashtags, you're making sure that you're using them without like combining them. So if you have one hashtag, then between one hashtag and another hashtag, you put a little space, right? So you separate them. Don't put them too close together, because then it might actually not recognize the hashtag. Also, you may see that hashtags are actually suggested. When they're suggested, you'll see a number next to it of how many people are actually using that hashtag, how many people are searching for that hashtag. Always go for the highest number, quite obvious. Hashtags are actually clickable. So anyone who clicks on an Instagram hashtag, it will take them to the page showing all the posts tagged with that hashtag. So basically what you're doing is you're grouping your content in with that hashtag. So whatever hashtag you put, say you put SEO and you created a piece of content about SEO, a fun piece of content, that piece of content is now grouped with all the other pieces of content with the same hashtag. So if anybody clicks on it, they may see your content if they click on a hashtag that says SEO, for example. Okay, so Instagram users can follow certain hashtags to see content that they are interested in and discover new Instagram accounts as a result. So, you know how YouTube has a search engine, TikTok has a search engine. With the Instagram, if you go into Instagram, the search is basically a magnifying glass at the bottom. But if you click on it and then go to the top to the search, you can use it, but most people on that search will use it by typing a hashtag. They won't type in how do you optimize a website with SEO. They won't go like that. They literally want to go in, type a hashtag in, and find the content, okay, that is related to that hashtag. So it's a different way of searching, and you just got to be aware of that. Okay, so let me go to the right page. So hashtags for your business. Okay, so got a little task for you. So think about your business. Okay, your business. If you haven't got a business, think of a business. If it's your boss's business, that's fine. Think about your business and what type of content you're going to create for Instagram, because we know Instagram is a bit different. And then using Instagram search bar, type in your chosen keywords and look for popular hashtags, niche hashtags, location based hashtags around your business. So if your business is dog grooming, for example, there's lots of hashtags here that could be relevant, like dogs. Okay, that's got 180 million posts. Dogs of New York, if you that's location based. Okay, so it could be that you're based in New York. If you're based in London, you go Dogs of London. If you're based in Nottingham, you go Dogs of Nottingham. So you're learning from that. That's got 2 million posts, that hashtag. So you can do that. And then you can go for other things like dog lovers. You can go in that direction. Okay, so niche, it could be dog grooming. Okay, baking, you got baking recipes, baking ideas, baking memes, baking soda. So different. So I wanted to just kind of look around on Instagram and see if you can find the hashtags that are really popular in your niche. Okay. Then what I want you to do is I want you to post them into the chat, because there will be other people who have similar businesses, like similar industries, and it's valuable for everyone to see each other's research. And it could be that you found a group of hashtags for your business that somebody else is actually found valuable, and vice versa. Once that's done, I want you to copy all the hashtags that you see in the chat and keep it in a document somewhere and call it hashtags. Okay. This is going to be valuable for you when you actually create content. You can just literally copy and paste. You can literally copy and paste that into a little notepad on your phone or somewhere where you can copy and paste into Instagram. Okay. So don't put it on a piece of paper, put it on something digital on your phone where you can copy and paste. So it could be a WhatsApp message you sent to yourself or however you keep text content, just somewhere where you can access it quickly and use those hashtags for your videos. But like I said, hashtags, you don't go crazy on them. So it's only 1 to 4 hashtags, right? For per video. But if you've got a selection of hashtags that you can use, you can pick and choose the right ones for your content. So I'll give you five about 5 minutes to do this, okay? So just spend the next five minutes on hashtags. How are we doing? Okay. Right, if you start thinking about posting your hashtags in the chat. That's good. So you remember, like, if you think about short tail keywords, long tail keywords, similar kind of thing with hashtags where you may have 1 or 2 words in a hashtag that is popular, but if you start adding more words, it'll be less and less views, but your content may actually reach people who are looking for something really specific. Okay. So your hashtags, if it's specific, but it's not got a lot of people searching for it, that's fine. Okay. Because your content will be 1 in 50 instead of being 1 in 50,000. Okay. So there's that benefit as well. Just keep in mind. Like, for example, natural horsemanship, horsemanship clinic. So that could get, I don't know how popular that is, but if you use the hashtag horse clinic and horsemanship clinic, it's interesting to see which one's getting more used more. But I would say, one would be more used than the other. All I'm trying to explain is, like, if it's not got a lot of views, like he hasn't got like 500,000 views or something, it's not always a bad thing because your content could be one of 100 pieces of content, okay, rather than being one of 1,000. So it could help in that way. But limit your hashtags to about 4 hashtags. Now, I don't know if underscores work with hashtags. I'm not sure, Lisa, but maybe you can find out for me, or if you know, you can tell me. I can't recall seeing hashtags with underscores. You might have to just kind of write cats of Instagram instead. Okay. Right, let's carry on. So thank you for that. And if you find anything that is useful in there, feel free to copy and paste or keep a copy. So I'm going to just go back to the slide. 1 second, if I can find it. Okay. All right, so the next one, writing effective captions. Obviously, captions are important. Um, Captions play a key role, okay, in post delivery discovery, because obviously people are looking for your content. They may use it in search. Remember, it's not just Instagram search. That search, they're basically searching for your content. They could be searching on Google, and then your Instagram video comes up through something else, right? It could be directly, because sometimes if you search on Google, the content on Instagram could be suggested directly in the search, or it could be indirectly, literally like going through another blog and into your uh content, right? The way that would happen is if you used keywords, relevant keywords in your content, and those same keywords are used in the blog article, which then got ranked well. So think about that as well, where when you're creating content on Instagram, make sure that you leverage on the fact that you've got other platforms that you've also like focused on previously, like you've written an article about, say, home decorating, and now you've got a photo that you put on Instagram about decorating a client's home. You could put that post within the blog article to make the blog article more visually exciting. But also, when the blog article does well on Google because of the SEO, your the readers will also find your Instagram, okay? And that's one way it'll work, but also the ranking will be better for your Instagram post as well. In many ways, like people will come through your blog to the post, people will also discover your post because it's ranking directly on Google. So it's a bit of work, okay? But if you find it too much tedious or time consuming to do these things, you need to get somebody who actually doesn't mind doing it. That could be a freelancer, it could be somebody in your company, it could be somebody in your family that you basically want to actually help you out. But it's important that you actually do all this, right? Ideally, you want to enjoy the process and don't see it like work. Tagging and mentions, we talked about this before, increases visibility on your posts, stories, and comments. Engaging with your audience on Instagram, obviously a very positive thing if you can do that. Actually reaching out to them, sending them messages directly, just kind of engaging. You may not get a response, especially from your followers, because they may think it's just automation or something like that. But still do it. I mean, show that you're the human side of you, and that it's not a bot, right? They will appreciate that. They will actually feel that you're valuing them as an individual by reaching out to them. Okay, um, and just show your appreciation. Like if somebody liked your post, say thank you. You know, thank you for liking my post. Really appreciate you engaging with me on my account. On just like it made my day or whatever you want, but be genuine. Okay, if it didn't make your day, don't say it made your day. So respond to posts, engage through comments, very important. That interaction is more natural. It doesn't seem out of place if you're actually engaging in the comments, and it's a community thing, right? So you're basically increasing the engagement by answering questions, liking people's comments. And if you don't do that, then there's not going to be that interaction with you. They'll literally just post stuff, but they'll think, oh, this person never responds. It's probably all automated. Okay. Although automation is great, people are clued on about it, and you need to show that, look, I'm actually spending time with my audience. Why liking comments matters. When you like someone's comment, they receive a push notification. That is the important factor. You're almost like nudging them, reminding them that they commented on your post and that you've acknowledged it. Okay, so it attracts the right audience. It also, the notification that they got, if they actually go back to your Instagram and then see the comment, that's interaction that Instagram rewards. Okay, that's a back and forth interaction. Handling negative comments, there will be people who basically leave negative comments. Don't let it affect you. Don't let it affect you mentally, professionally. Just be calm, empathetic. Just realize that people have problems in their life, and some people are just trolls. They'll literally be there to create negativity because they're not happy with their own lives, right? So unfortunately, it's the reality, and some people do get affected by it and they stop everything. Okay, don't do that. Obviously, your mental health comes first. Take a break from the screen, take a break from the platform everywhere, and just kind of take a breather. Talk to somebody about it. Talk to your colleague, talk to your tutor, talk to somebody if you feel that it's affecting you, because social media can be quite toxic. It can be, it can impact your life in a negative way if you take things seriously, or if you actually, sometimes you have to take it seriously. It could be threats, could be abuse. So many different things can happen, but you need to report things. You need to talk to people. If you keep it inside you, if you let it get to you and you close your account because of that, I'm sure there's ways of dealing with it without having to go to that point of closing the account. Obviously you can block them, you can delete them, but in my opinion, from going through that and coming out of it, I would say the best thing to do is ignore them. Like, the best thing you can do is focus on the people that matter, which is the people that actually care and care for your product, your brand, you, and they enjoy your content. Don't focus on the negative ones. Otherwise, you'll be there forever trying to, deal with them. Direct messages, very important, very valuable, and it builds relationships. Okay, so I don't know where in the slide it will actually come to this point where you talk about your followers and you talk about people that you want to follow you, yeah? But Kieran asked the question earlier, like, what's the difference between the reels and videos you post on your, like, direct posts on your that come on your feed, for example? The difference is a bit like direct messages and comments, okay? When you're directly messaging, it's either going to be someone you know or someone that you're reaching out to for a reason, to say thank you or something. But usually it's people in you that follow you, people who know you, already follow you basically. So you're communicating with them, right? It's your little community that you're building. And direct messages are usually when you feel comfortable enough to have direct messages. So same with videos. When you're posting the video on your, like if I just uploaded a video and it went into my timeline and I didn't do it through the reel, those followers are the ones that are going to get that video, and they're going to be basically notified that I posted a video. So I know that when I post a video, it's going to be on my timeline, which I'm populating. But the people who already are my followers, who already like my content, they're the ones that are going to see it. But the amount of people that are going to see it is going to be less. Okay, the reach is going to be less, but it's very much focused on people who already like my content. When it's reels, is the difference is like, um actually, say you're in bakery, right? Your industry is bakery, baking cakes. The difference is like when you're posting a video for your, like, for the normal timeline, it's like baking a cake for your family, okay? People who like you, know you, your friends and family. When you're posting on a reel, it's like baking a cake for the public outside your home. Anybody can see it. People will smell it, taste it, love it. They may come and follow you. So the reel is to get engagement, to get attraction, get attention. You're putting it out there. And because of the hashtags and everything you use, it will rank and it will be grouped with other people who are posting reels in the same topic around the same content. Okay, so in a way, if you're a newbie and you're just starting, you could have created a video that is of the same quality as somebody who's been doing cake videos for 3 years, right? And your video and their video is basically side by side on reels, because you put it on reels. Whereas if you created that same video and put it on your timeline, basically it's just your followers who are going to see it, and if they share it out, then other people may see it. That's the main difference. It's also where it appears. So reels appear on the reels at the top, so it can get attention, and people, when they're swiping through reels, they're basically swiping like on TikTok, and they're gonna watch all those, right? In order. And then on your, if you got it on your profile, they don't, it's the followers that get to see that most. And if they're sharing, then the other people get to see it. So it's the way people get your content, really. So understanding the Instagram algorithms. So Instagram displays posts in chronological order. Okay, the newest post appears first in your feed. So when you're posting on your feed, it's for your followers, like I said, and they want to follow your timeline. It's like your feed is your timeline. Anything I post today will appear after I posted my previous post. So it's not going to be random. There's a chronological order. However, with the massive amount of content shared every day, Instagram now uses an algorithm to determine what users see and when. So obviously, there's so much content going out. What Instagram's algorithm does, it looks at value, okay? And the value is measured by certain actions. And one of the biggest actions, like I mentioned before, is sharing of content. So you know this part where it says to determine what users see and when. Basically, if people are sharing something, then Instagram is gonna keep on showing that to more and more people because it sees it as something people want to see or people think people want to see. Okay. Um, and when they see it, the timing of it, it all depends on how you posted it, when you posted it. Okay. So if it's relevant to something that's a trend at the moment, say it's been snowing in the UK and that's the trend. Everybody's putting videos up of the snow, yeah, because it's snowing, and you managed to put a video of a snowman that you built, okay, and that snowman is like 6 foot tall, okay, and no, and people are wondering like where the hell did that person get all that snow to build a 6 foot snowman, right? Obviously, that's going to be shared because there won't be other videos like that. And that's when Instagram is going to get your video viral because your video is unique when it comes to a whole group of videos about snowfall. You're the only one that's got a snowman. And you might think, okay, well, how would they know if this is an old video? That's the metadata. That's the videos. How the algorithms know when the videos have been created and how old the video is, and if it's new video, if it's an old video that's been circulating, that's come back again, it would know. Okay, there's AI that Facebook uses, that Instagram uses to determine the difference between AI and reality videos, but also the timing of the videos and many other things. So the goal of the algorithm is really to keep users engaged, quality of the content to be fresh, and also keep it relevant, interesting content. And if you're supporting the algorithm, then the algorithm will support you. And that's on every platform. So if you know what the algorithm wants for its platform and you are giving it what it wants, it will give back to you by showing more people. So factors that affect algorithm is the interest. Okay. So the more Instagram predicts you'll like a post, the higher it appears in your feed. So if it thinks you like health products, it will keep on showing you health products. So you have to train your Instagram account on what you like to see. If that's why if you give your phone to your husband or your wife or partner, someone else, and they start viewing what they like to see, then you start viewing what you like to see. Problem is the algorithm gets confused, right? So if you're using it for business, make sure nobody else is using the same phone to browse on certain platforms that do that. Time, Instagram prioritizes recent posts, meaning newer content appears higher in the feed. This is why it is important to post when your audience is most active to maximize visibility and engagement. So if your audience is going to be most active around 7 o'clock, how do you know that? Well, you know it from the analytics when more people are viewing. That's when you post. You post around that time because if you posted at 6:30, your post is the most like latest post. It's fresh, it's new. When they start logging on, when they start getting onto Instagram and browsing, if they're following you, they will see your post. Okay, because it's most recent, and you basically literally posted half an hour ago. So you have to post close to when you know your audience is most active. So more factors, frequency, how often you post also affects the algorithms. So because it's chronological, you got to think of that. So when was the last time you visited, and when are you? So if there's been a 2 day gap between the last time you visited, that's going to affect your algorithm. The algorithm is going to affect who sees your post, because you're not being consistent. And Instagram prioritizes posts that it predicts you like the most rather than showing them in order. So again, even though you're posting and you think it's chronological, you also have to think about, are people actually going to like this post after the previous post that I posted? So you're basically relating your posts as well. Relationships, Instagram prioritizes posts from people and accounts you interact with most. Basically, it's like Facebook. So Facebook has a messenger. If you interact on Messenger with certain people and then post something on Facebook, you'll see that the people that you interacted with are the people that are liking your post. And the reason that's happening is because Facebook sees as, okay, you got a good relationship with these people, so I'm going to show these people your post first. Okay. Same thing with Instagram. Okay, if you're going into the direct messages and you're interacting with people, most likely they're the ones that are going to see your post when you post on your feed. Okay, so if you want specific people in your within your followers to actually see your post, then you need to communicate with them. Measuring performance is all about the dashboard. We're going to come on to that in a second. I want to give you a little break first. So let's have a 10-minute break. Okay, so have a 10-minute break here, and then we'll continue. I'll go on to Instagram. We'll go back and forth with the presentation and go through a few other things. Okay, if you've got any questions for me at this point, just save them for after the break, and I'll try to answer any questions. Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video again, and what I want you to do is recall what he's saying and type what you think is the most valuable thing that is said in the video into the chat. Okay, so I'm gonna play it again.
Grow your Instagram like crazy with these 5 tips. Number 1, use the topics tab before posting to categorize your content. Number 2, stop using more than 5 hashtags. It doesn't work as well anymore. There's no point in spamming with 30 hashtags. Number 3, only interact with your right audience. It may be cool to have 1 million followers, but if the majority of those 1 million followers don't interact and engage because they're not your ideal audience, it's gonna actually show your content less to even the people who are your right audience. Number 4, test out every new feature that Instagram rolls out. Instagram wants adoption of their features. If you use them, there's a higher chance that your content goes and spreads more virally. And 5, actively vet your audience. That way you make sure that you're following and you're being followed by the right type of people.
Okay, so I'm going to play another video, and I want you to do the same, right? This one's a longer video. I may not run it for the whole duration because it's about 15 minutes long. But I'm going to play it for, say, about 5 minutes, maybe going up to 10, close to 10. But whenever you find a useful information, valuable for you, okay, I want you to share it in the chat, okay? And hopefully that will enable us to get lots of a list of tips, and then I want you to all kind of take a screenshot or copy all the responses in the chat and keep a copy of that. I think you can actually, if you click on the 3 dots at the top of the chat, you can save the chat as well. Okay, so I'm going to play it.
Instagram does not stop growing. There are more and more users and more content on this social network. More than 2 billion people use Instagram monthly, and surely your company also has its own profile. Although the time where growing was quick and easy is over. In this video, we will see all the ways to do digital marketing on Instagram, and then some tips on how to grow on this platform today. So let's not wait any longer, and let's get started. We can classify digital marketing into two main groups: organic actions, which would come to be posts, stories, reels, etc., and then advertising actions, such as promotions, advertisements, etc. Depending on your budget, you can adapt your marketing plan to your needs. So now we are going to tell you more in detail about each group. Let's start with organic actions. These actions are the most basic on Instagram, but not the least important. Let's take a look at the points to keep in mind. Define your goals. Don't stop at vanity metrics such as the number of likes, and look for ways to link your presence on this network to your business objectives. Create a company account. It is not advisable to market on Instagram with personal accounts, as you would be missing out on multiple functionalities, such as Instagram statistics, Instagram ads, or Instagram shopping, which we will see in the next group. Analyze your competition. If you're just starting your journey on Instagram, or even if you've already had your strategy for a while, an important step is to analyze what your competition is doing on social networks, and in particular on Instagram. It's not a matter of being obsessed with the competition or replicating what they do, but being aware of the content that your potential audience is already consuming to differentiate yourself and add value with something new and fresh. Create your community. The way to increase your visibility on Instagram is to create community. Don't just use Instagram as if it were a showcase. Take the time to ask interesting questions to your followers and interact with them as much as possible. Reply to their comments, take polls. Instagram can also be an opportunity to expose yourself and show the most human side of the brand. Show the day-to-day, how each order is prepared in the case of a store, or you can even dare to explain challenges or problems that arise. All this will make followers empathize with the brand and with who is behind it. Not only will you be interacting with your future customers, but you will also build loyalty with your existing customers, and they will recommend you if you are attentive to their suggestions and comments. Optimize your profile. Your account name is crucial for SEO and brand identity. For a business account, add your name and the subject of your content. For example, Sally, English teacher. The next step is the description or biography. It highlights how your product, service, or content will benefit others. For example, we help you learn English for free. It is important to include a call to action, such as request your appointment now, as well as a recognizable avatar, which does not contain too much information, but is visually striking and memorable. If you have more than one website to promote on your profile, try using platforms such as Linktree, which groups different links into one. Create a consistent brand image. Instagram is first and foremost a visual network, where a picture really is worth 1,000 words. To take advantage of its full potential, you must create a coherent aesthetic in your publications, so that they stand out within the feed and are immediately recognizable. Make the most of Instagram Reels, vertical videos of a maximum of 90 seconds that compete head-to-head with TikTok. Undoubtedly, to grow on Instagram today, you have to take advantage of the potential of Reels. To ensure greater success, we recommend you first of all take advantage of the first 3 seconds to highlight the most important and capture the viewer's attention. You can use large text, an impactful sound, or a transition with movement. Include subtitles in the video to make the content accessible and understandable, as well as making it more dynamic. Use trending formats or challenges, as well as audio or filters that are gaining popularity to ride the trend wave.
That happened? You didn't wreck it? You didn't hit anybody? You didn't run anybody over?
And finally, bear in mind that videos featuring people tend to be more successful, so it is advisable to use them as a creative resource in your creatives. Within the content strategy, it is advisable to include videos that present personal experiences related to your company, including the audience in the process and your day-to-day. You can record fragments of the daily life of your company, show the more human face that we mentioned before, make funny content, or simply informative content of value, that solves doubts and pain points of your potential customers. Remember to use hashtags according to the content. In addition, before publishing the reel, make sure you choose the 3 topics related to your video so that Instagram can recommend it to those who may be most interested. Use custom covers. Covers are the static image users see on your profile before entering a reel. Use them to clearly indicate the content of each video and make navigation easier. Covers can be a still from the video or an image that you can select from your gallery. But keep in mind that in the feed they will appear cut in a square format. You can also add text stickers to highlight a title. The important thing is that these covers are eye-catching, clear, and identifiable with your brand.
I'm going to stop it there and go back to the slide. So thank you for everyone who's actually posted some tips picked up from that video. Okay. And do read them at some point or copy them because they're valuable. Okay. All right. Right. So where were we? The last slide was factors affecting algorithm. Next slide is measuring performance. So you can access your performance dashboard direct from your Instagram bio. So it's here, performance dashboard. Okay, so this, which looks a bit empty for me right now. Okay, so the dashboard provides valuable insights and analytics about your account's performance, including reach, engagement, follower growth, and content interactions. So use this data to understand your audience's behavior, identify which types of posts perform best, create new relevant posts, content that resonate with your audience, and evaluate whether you're reaching the right people for your brand. Profile insights, basically, you're looking at demographics, you're looking at people who actually follow and the growth of that. So it should motivate you as well by looking at the profile insights. You're looking at, who is actually following you, who are your followers. So you could use this alongside your target audience documentation that you've built from other platforms and see, is it any different? Am I targeting the same people or different group of people? Obviously, some followers will follow you across different platforms, but when we say same people, we're talking about the same demographics. Okay. So what you'll actually find is that Instagram is a different demographic to Facebook. Facebook's a different demographic to TikTok. So you have to adjust your content slightly according to that. And the best way to see how you adjust is looking at the actual profile insights and see who are you attracting and then serve them. Okay, so looking at the image on the screen, you can see that this profile has, from men and women, basically you've got mainly around 35 to 44 age group. Okay, that is like the most attention that's coming from that group. Okay, so your content should be around here. It should be aiming for people of that age group. Okay, so it's not really young people. Okay, it's not like people around 18 to 24. That's only 2%. Okay, it's really around we're talking 30s and 40s. So that's the type of range we're looking at. So your avatar or your persona that you've created, basically you have to give it age of between 30 and 40 for Instagram. If you're looking at this profile insight. Okay, so whatever you see on your profile insight, that will give you a good idea of your growth, your followers, breaking down it into their demographics, the age breakdown, and it gives you a better understanding of the persona, the person that you're creating it for. Also, location wise, where are they coming from? Like you got Finland there, you got Australia, Canada. It could be a country where it's a different language and English isn't the first language. Then you got to think about maybe in your content you have references to their native language, and they would really like that. They'd appreciate that. So if you're actually creating content that's related to certain parts of the world, that actually may reward you. You don't go away from your content, like from your brand, but maybe have some kind of connection with Australia, have some kind of connection with parts of the world where you're getting a lot of audience from. Here, looking at this profile, I can see it's mainly US and the UK. So rather than trying to focus on Canada, which is only 4.5, or Australia, I'd keep the focus around US and UK, which is basically you still speak English, you'd still create content like other influencers are doing in that part of the world. But notice that there are people coming from Finland and watching on this platform, and there could be a good reason for that. It could be some kind of connection there on this platform, right? So, profile insight when it comes to demographics, location is also valuable, gender as well, and also the active time. You'll see that in the insights as well. So, when are they most active? So here it can see that on a Sunday around 3 to 6 p.m. is the most active time when these followers are like on Instagram. So having content ready for that time is important. Okay. So you're posting around maybe after 12 o'clock. So it's the most recent post, and these people are gonna be able to see it because it's going to be shown to them if they're following you already. And obviously, these are followers, so they will get to see your post if you're posting it close to when they're actually on and active. Understanding the Instagram content metrics. So if you look at the content section of your Instagram insights, so if I go to insights and go to content, so you'll see your content and there's views also and this. So if you go here, detailed performance data for every post, story, and video you share. These metrics will help you understand how well your content is performing. So basically, when you look at your content, you can see on your content the number of people who viewed. If you click on your content, so you click from here, so go to Insight, click on content, you get the content up, you click on the content from here, and here you'll see people who viewed is basically 115. Out of them, none of my followers viewed because I haven't got any followers, only got a couple maybe, but most are non-followers. Accounts reaches 111, interactions nothing. Obviously, like this is like a video that I uploaded yesterday, and it's not even it was actually a video I created for TikTok, so it wasn't even meant for this platform, which is probably why I'm not getting the interaction and stuff. So you can, this is a good example to show you like content that is going to do well on TikTok is not always going to do well on Instagram. The way you create it, this is probably too serious for it, or hasn't got any stickers or music or whatever Instagram needs, and it's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb on the rest of the content people are used to seeing on Instagram. So you have to get out your comfort zone and be able to create content that is relevant to the platform. Otherwise, you're not getting the engagement. But what I want to point out here is the content metrics, which basically you access through your dashboard. Go to the professional dashboard, go to insights, go to content, then click on your content, and then you'll see the metrics come up on the side. Okay, so any likes, any comments, you can basically see everything here, and it's valuable for you. So one of my followers actually, one or two maybe saw this, so it's changed a little bit, but it's not going to be interesting for me now. It's going to be interesting later when I actually start putting effort in. At the moment, I'm just uploaded videos just to so I can show you guys things. Right. So if we carry on, key metrics. Okay, so we looked at insights. It looks a bit different here because I think this is a mobile screen, and I think that's one shot and that's two shot. So it's basically side by side. So on your mobile, it's basically the same thing that I just showed you, but it's just displayed for mobile. So the things that you're seeing is accounts reached, impressions, content interactions, profile activities, saves, shares, video views, real plays, and then engagement rate. All valuable information that you can even input into other CRMs. You can even connect your Instagram to CRM so that it pulls off this data and puts it into your CRM. So building a social media content strategy with so many ways to create and share content on Instagram and Facebook, it can feel overwhelming to know where to begin. The key is to simplify your approach and focus on what truly matters: clear objectives, content variety, and consistency. So what I realized on Facebook was when you're thinking too hard to create content, usually nothing happens, right? When I created content to actually share something that is um, uncomfortable to share. Okay, so say you got scammed and you shared that with people, like, oh, I just got scammed. I just lost, £1,000 or something, right? People that also got scammed will feel comfortable sharing their story, right? There's a lot of people on social media that will be quiet until somebody speaks out, and then they feel that they can also speak out, and you give them a voice by being the first one, basically. So when you're uncomfortable about something, or something is a bit personal, and you become a bit vulnerable, you're okay with the vulnerability, and you're basically sharing your vulnerability, like you got scammed or something bad happened or some kind of story that it's a bit uncomforting, but people will find it interesting. That kind of stuff will get a lot of views, okay? Because not everybody's going to be in the same situation, but people can relate to it. So it could be that you got to also think about creativity, but I wouldn't think too hard about your content. I would just let it naturally flow. Let it naturally flow, because if you are thinking too much, you're never going to create that content. If you create the content first and then see how it's doing, it's going to lead you to creating that perfect content. Okay. So by me putting up a few videos up there that I don't think is great, but I put them up to understand where I'm not doing well, I'm now getting the analytics. I can see that. And then I can work on the videos that did get a bit of attention. I can work on that type of video to give more value or a better version of that, and see if I can increase it from 100 views to 500 to 1,000. So you're starting somewhere. So your content strategy, even though you may feel, oh my God, there's two platforms. Well, how am I going to create this amazing content? Don't think like that. Just create some content and put it on there and see what happens with the analytics, and go from there. And then take on board everything that you're learning. So planning a social media campaign. Over the next coming weeks, you'll be putting together your knowledge of social media into practice by planning and developing a complete social media marketing campaign. You will demonstrate your ability to plan, implement, and measure the effectiveness of social media activities that align with the business objectives. So basically, you're already doing this. You're looking at Instagram, you're looking at Facebook, you're looking at CRM, CMS. You're looking at different parts of the business of social media marketing. When you understand project management, when you understand CMS role, when you understand the Wix role for your website, CRM role for managing everything, the social media platforms and how they work, when it's all there, planning your social media campaign is going to be a lot easier, because you'll know what platforms to go to market for what people. So if your product is for designed for 30 to 40-year-olds, you know which platform to go and market, which one to use in your strategy, in your campaign. If your demographics is from a certain age group or a certain country, which country uses that platform the most. It could be what type of content you want to create, because of the actual, say you've decided on the content. You've decided, I'm going to create a really cool video about our team planning for our Christmas event, right? Now that's supposed to be fun. So a fun video of your team would look really cool on Instagram. Yeah. And maybe you got pictures you want to put on a platform as part of your marketing campaign. Well, you got Instagram. You know this now, okay? So once you know the different platforms, you'll basically know where your content will work better, okay? So that you'll figure out slowly. So with the planning of your social media campaign, don't worry about it too much. Again, things will fall into place as you gain the knowledge through the course. As you're gaining knowledge, just keep a mental note or write down the bits and that actually make sense to you and how they connect with other parts of what you're learning. So how the CMS connects to the Wix because it manages that, how the CRM connects everything, email, communication, messaging, the whole sales funnel is in there, your automations in there. So you can almost create like a visual diagram, a bird's eye view of the whole campaign. And you can see how different social platforms actually come into it as well. So that's the idea, having a mental map of the whole thing. So understanding the business goals before launching a social media marketing campaign, it's essential to set out the clear goals and specific requirements that align with your organization's overall objectives. So that takes us back to your vision, your mission statement, your values, and your overall objective as a company, but also what are you trying to gain from this campaign? Well-defined goals help guide your content strategy, audience targeting, and performance tracking. Setting effective goals and requirements ensures that your social media campaign is purposeful, trackable, and aligned with your organization's success. So, say you work for a company and your boss says, "Hey, how's that Instagram post doing?" Now you know you can go into Instagram, check out the analytics, and see how it's doing. You can even pull off a report, take a screenshot, send it to them. Yeah. So you might decide, okay, it wasn't actually doing that well, so we moved to TikTok and we're using TikTok instead. And your boss might say, well, why are you doing that? How did you know? Well, you can show them the metrics. You can show, look, it's the same post. We actually thought this platform was better, so we put it on there and we're getting more engagement. So knowing the different parts of your systems will also help you to find answers and to change strategies, evolve in different ways. Defining objectives, obviously you've got a bigger goal, a business goal. You need to have that clear for your business, what your business wants to achieve. Part of what your business wants to achieve would be basically connected to your social media goals, because your social media goals support your broader objectives. So if you're trying to increase the number of business clients that you've got in a region who will look, and you want to have like 10% increase of clients from, I don't know, from London who are interested in your product, and you want to partner with a couple of them. If that's your target, that you want to grow in London and then you want to branch out to London, you want to open an office there and sell your products there, but you need to collaborate with a few people there at the same time. Maybe that's your target. How are you going to get there? How are you going to achieve that? Well, you could have business meetings, you could get connections, you could go and connect on social media like on LinkedIn and hopefully get somebody to be interested. You could do it like that. Or you could have a social media campaign that is targeting businesses in London who are potential clients for your business, and you're targeting them through paid ads, or it could be organic, but that is your campaign, and it's 6 months campaign. And by the end of the 6 months, you want to close at least 5 clients in London. You want to have collaboration and business with 2, and you want to have it all ready for the move of going to London in 8 months' time. So by the time you're there, you've got your office, you've got your clients, and that social media campaign was a success because you closed a number of clients. So it's basically connected to your bigger goal, and it helped you to get there. So common examples include increasing brand awareness, driving traffic to a website, promoting a website or blog, generating sales or leads, building community engagement, promoting a product launch or event, providing customer service or support. So all of these could be reasons why you're doing a campaign. So that example I gave of London, moving to London, it could be that you're creating that brand awareness in London. It could be that you're driving traffic to your website because it's a new traffic. It could be that you're increasing sales in a specific location. It also could be that you're building a community engagement of people in a certain country that you're doing business in now. Say you've moved to Dubai and you're trying to connect with the business hub in Dubai, and you're going to events, that's where you would engage and you would create content of the event and put it on Instagram, and then connect with people on Instagram, and then add them on your LinkedIn, and then arrange meetings over LinkedIn to Zoom, and then close deals there, and then basically collaborate with them, take pictures, put it on Instagram again. Met this person at the event last week. Now we're collaborating. Put that news on LinkedIn again. That's how you do it. You just basically have to tell a story at the same time of your success. So you need to set smart goals. I mean, smart goals, we all know what they are. Okay, so basically specific. Okay, you clearly state what you want to achieve. Measurable. Okay, so you need to be able to track if you've actually achieved it. So obviously we've got the analytics and everything, but have it clear in your mind where when you post something, it could be like increasing our sales by 20% within 90 days. Okay, that's very specific and measurable, because after 90 days, if you haven't increased it, you'll know. Okay, so you're putting a time on it. Achievable, is it achievable within 90 days? Okay, can I achieve it? Can I increase it by 30% in 90 days? If that's not possible, then that's not a smart goal. Okay, relevant, does it actually align with what we're trying to do? Increasing sales, of course it does, right? So that's fine. You don't want to do something that's not relevant. And time bound, I basically just talked about that. So it's, if it's time bound, it helps for it to be measurable, and a lot of the measurable part will come from the analytics anyway. So instead of saying increase engagement, a smart goal would be increase Instagram engagement rate by 15% over the next 3 months through consistent posting and interactive stories. Okay, so what I want you to do is use the chat and type in your smart goal. Okay, so it could be about Instagram, it may not be about Instagram, it could be about another social platform. I'll let you do that, but if you can focus on Instagram, then that would be cool. Okay, so use the chat and create a smart goal, something that is specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic. Was it relevant and time bound? Okay, I'll keep that up so you can actually see it. So let's see some smart goals. Okay, so somebody's still working on the smart goals, I guess. Just conscious of time because it was like 5 minutes till 8. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just let you think about your smart goals for Instagram. And if you can think of it and you can type it in, then great. If not, then you can do it. You can just do it at another time and just save it for another session and you can post it in. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's a different session on a different topic. You can just remind me and post it. But we do need to carry on. Okay. So the next one, identify your target audience. Obviously, we've covered this many times, but it's very important. So, make sure that you know exactly who your audience is, what their gender, age, location, interests, behaviors, preferred platform. And then you need to think about, are they current customers or are they prospective customers? Are they your consumers? Just understand your audience. And we do that through research, through comments, through forums, through asking questions directly, by looking at our competitors and their audience, and obviously our analytics. choose the right channel and content. Obviously, you've got different platforms, and we talked about this. Each platform has different types of content. So Instagram and TikTok is for visual storytelling and engagement. Facebook is for community building and local reach. LinkedIn is for B2B, business to business, and professional content. And X is for real-time updates and conversations. Okay, so pretty simple. I think where you want to go viral is Instagram, TikTok. Facebook is where you want to nurture your community. LinkedIn is where you want to make connections. And Twitter is basically just keeping people up to date with things that are happening in the industry or with your company. So establish your KPIs. So key performance indicators. Obviously, you look at your analytics and see your growth, your impressions, your followers from there. So you can see the brand awareness. If your goal is engagement, then you focus on likes, comments, shares, saves, and engagement rates. If it's web traffic, then you look at the link clicks, the website visits, time on page. If it's lead generation that you're basically trying to get, then how many people have signed up, the form completions, DMs, and inquiries. If it's sales and conversion, then how many people have purchased, the conversion rate, and ROI. And if it's customer satisfaction, it's about response rate, message replies, and sentiment analysis. I think this is a very valuable table. So when I give you the slide deck, make sure you maybe do a screenshot of this. What I'll do actually, I'm gonna do a screenshot of this and I'm gonna post it so you can keep it separately. But I think it's so valuable to understand where you look for the KPI, like which because you can easily like confuse them and not know what they're relating to. So let me just post that in here. 1 second. Well, I think I just gave it to Kieran only. Let me just change that to everybody. Okay, that's everyone now. And while I'm doing that, I might as well give you the Instagram one, the slide deck. So I'll let that go in there. So you should get that in a minute, okay? So it'll be in the chat. So KPI is very important to understand your KPIs, where they're coming from, where you actually look to see the KPIs. And, if you know your goal, which you should, then like if somebody says like, okay, the goal was brand awareness. How have we achieved that? Have we achieved brand awareness? Are people aware of our brand? Where would you go? You wouldn't go and go. If you don't know what to look for, you might just be confused and think, okay, let me go and see how many people visit our website. Let me go and see how many sales we made. No, you go for brand awareness. You look at the reach, the impressions, the followers, the profile visits, and you just give that information to your boss or whoever's asking. If it's your stakeholder, you give that. So look, we've got brand awareness. We reached so many people. So many people have seen our content. Our followers have increased. How many visits to our profile? It's not about how many sales we made. You asked about brand awareness. Yeah. Have we satisfied our customers? Like our aim was to satisfy customers. Have we done that? Yeah. Look, the people giving feedback. People are talking about our product and they're very positive. So there's certain things you need to check for certain goals, and that chart is very important. Okay, so that's that. Define the campaign requirements. Well, we've got budget, we've got content formats, posting schedule, team roles and responsibilities, and tools and software. So when you're doing a campaign, you're gonna need money. You're gonna need to understand which format you're gonna post in. You're gonna have to have a schedule because it's not gonna be like somebody manually doing it. You'll never get there. You need to do the scheduling in advance. You need people to know what they're doing and what roles they're playing in your plan. And you need the software and tools, right? So these are just requirements that we've talked about before. And you need it, obviously, if you're doing it part of Instagram as well.
But I'm not sure if it's just me, but there's a big black square over the slide.
Is that gone now?
No.
Okay. 1 second. Let me just close some of this stuff down. Minimize it. Is that better?
No.
No. Let me stop it, share it again.
Yeah.
Any better?
Yeah.
Is that gone now? Yep. Okay. Good. Right. So ad tracking to measure your success. Tracking tools are important. The Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they all track anyway. It's built into the system, so you don't need to additionally do anything. Wix, I think, also provides a code. Sorry, it allows you to insert code from other platforms. So Facebook may give you a piece of code to put into Wix, so that you can track visitors from Facebook going onto your website if you want to do that. I personally think as long as you're getting trackable information on your social platforms, that's good enough for social. And with your website, you got analytics on the for the page views and everything anyway. A lot of this adding the tracking and all this is about 10 years ago, okay? Where you had to manually add a tracking code into a platform to actually get information. But if you actually use a platform that has that kind of functionality, then it will make it very clear what to do. It'll give you tutorials and stuff, okay? It's not as complicated and technical as it used to be. I can remember about 10 years ago, you had to you had to actually purchase another tracking platform to track everything on social media, because these social media platforms didn't have the analytics to that high standard. So there were solutions out there that were you had to pay for, that then you would have to put your APIs in, you would have to put code in into that platform from your social platforms. The closest thing to that now is CRMs, and CRMs are very powerful and they can do a lot of it. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. Just know that platforms connect with platforms to give you results. So plan your campaign task. Well, obviously you're all planning anyway from different topics and different sessions you're on. You're understanding different contents, you're looking at different types of platforms. I want you to start thinking about your campaign now. Okay. So you've been on different sessions. If you haven't been on sessions, don't get confused, right? Obviously it's modular and you're able to choose different sessions. There will be a point when you've got enough knowledge to put things together like as like a jigsaw. Okay. You know which the social platforms, what are the different big management applications, and what is good content, what is bad content. You'll understand everything. Okay. So when you start to understand stuff, think about the sales funnel, think about the customer journey that you're going to take them on, think about your mission, vision, and why you're creating the campaign, how you're going to funnel people through, why you're going to funnel people through. Is it attention? Is it purchase? Is it followers? But the sales funnel is always there. It's not, but it's not always for a sale. Sometimes it's awareness, desire, connection and all this, but at the end it's not, the action is not to purchase, the action is to click on a subscribe button. Okay. But the journey is always similar. So once you get all that, then your campaign will start coming together. And literally, if you can't visualize your campaign, you need to go into Trello. You need to start putting those cards in, and you need to plan out your campaign over 1 month. Okay. Once you visually start seeing when you're going to post, when you're going to schedule, what kind of post you're going to put in, when you're going to create a new blog article, which content connects to what content, what is your smart goals for that day, for this day, it will start forming a plan. Now try to do that plan for a month in advance. Like if you're planning now, it should be a plan for in a couple of months. It gives you time to plan out. If you're planning for this month, obviously half the month's gone. By the time you complete your plan, it's already January. So there's no point planning a Christmas campaign, for example. Okay. So just start thinking about that. Don't get too bogged down, worried about it. Just start thinking about using Trello, putting in different things that you're learning into Trello, and planning out how you would market your product or whatever your campaign is. So the best way to do it is first understand what is your campaign in the first place. What is your goal? What is your SMART goal? What are you trying to achieve? So that's what you need to do. So creating your content calendar. Okay, so this is something that was in another session again. You can use Trello. You can also use Google Calendar. Facebook's got a scheduling platform you can use as well. But I personally, content calendar is not your planner, but it can be your planner, but it doesn't have the interactive side if you're using Google, for example. But a content schedule, it helps you to plan posts. But if you think about what Facebook's got, it does it directly, automatically. Google can't do that. However, certain platforms, certain CRMs may ask you to connect to your Google account, and then your calendar will feed will go into that. Okay, so it serves as an overview of your upcoming posts and organized by date. Your calendar can take many forms. A simple spreadsheet can be a calendar. A Google Calendar could be your calendar. It could be an interactive dashboard like Meta Business Suite. So as long as you've got one working for you and you're using it properly, that's fine. So the things you got to include is your date and time, the platform you're going to post on, the copy and creative assets, and links and tags. Okay. And finally, the other thing about Trello is you can actually embed in links, you can connect calendars, you can do all sorts. So have a look at Trello. I'll put the link there quickly. Again, open a Trello account at some point, because this is where you're going to manage your projects. Okay, it's basically going to help you manage everything like this. Okay, so I'm going to just put that link in there. I've already given the link to the presentation, so that sorry, the uploaded the presentation. Okay, yeah, it's not yet goodbye, but it will be in a minute. Okay, because our next slide is the last slide. Okay. This one is our last slide. So this basically, if I just close that down. Okay, so what we've covered relates to Unit 5. Again, if you're not on the diploma, then you don't have to answer these questions. But if you're on the certificate, sorry, if you're on the diploma, you answer questions in Unit 5. If you're on the certificate, the content is still relevant, but question 3, 4, and 5, you don't have to answer. Question 6, 7, 8, 9 as well. So all of these are basically from Unit 5. So if you're on the certificate, you don't have to answer any of these questions, but the content in this session is still relevant to other things in other units, if that makes sense. So we've gone through the content sharing on Instagram, the different content formats, the Instagram algorithms, how they impact your content, and looking at social media marketing campaigns for content scheduling, and looking at the different channels, how the media changes for a campaign, and then the tracking tools to measure your success. And we looked at that from within the content. Okay, so that's it. Is everybody okay? Everybody happy? You all good? Okay.